welcome to the first installment of Ca'yc Runi, our Mandalorian community talk show, where we'll be talking about the latest and best parts of the Mandalorian community, and we're going to be bringing in some Mandos to give their opinions on certain topics. Today, we have New Hatish Haran, the Mandalore of the Mandalorian community, SRG Foot, also known as Tabalor Ordo, the seer of the Mandalorian community, and we have Kotish Ordo. He's also with Ordo, and Tab's son. Say hi, guys.
Hi, you butchered my name.
I did. Did I actually?
Kotish Tabalor Ordo.
Tabalor.
Like that's my full fucking name, dude.
Okay,
Say
well,
it right.
that's his full fucking name, guys. Alright, so our first topic of the day is gonna be how do you guys think the status of the community is doing, and where do you want to go from here? Nuatish, I'll give you the floor first.
I feel like the community is growing a lot bigger than what it was not before. It was very slow paced. People weren't really on their shit. After a lot of the rules I've put into place, it seems like it's driven people into wanting to do better and to push themselves more into recruiting and getting their members stronger. In a matter of a few weeks of me being Mandalore, we went from like 30 people into our community to over 100 now. And it's still growing as we speak. Right now, as we speak, 3 clans already over 20, almost up to 30. And I feel like it's going to grow even more once we hit a good amount of numbers and we have everything fully in place. I want us to start going into external activities with other clans and getting us more battle ready.
Okay. How about you, Tab? How do you feel about the status of the community and what we can do to go from here?
Well, from the Mandalorians, as of us, we've been up for close to, I believe, 4 years, if I remember correctly, at this point. The community's gone downhill over the last couple of years, and some people have tried to rebuild it and restructure, but alas, no one has actually been able to do it. A few weeks back, we got the majority of the leaders that were actually wanting to help rebuild together, and we've been restructuring the Mandalorians since. And this is the biggest group we've had in over 2.5 years. So I would say we're going to continue growing, and we're all pushing forward for Infinite.
Okay, okay. How about you, Kotish?
Um, yeah, fucking the community. When we started this, it was a few simple people. We started this as a small council of 9 people and their small clans and such. Now, of course, that council changed over time, and now we have the Mandalore in place, and the council position has been substituted with a position known as the Mandalore Trusted, which is more so just guys that the Mandalore fully trusts, myself being included in this. And I think it's all good. I mean, we are 100 plus members. We're pushing to do external activities. Right now, for myself, since I'm an Alderad of Clan Ordo, I'm mainly focusing on the building of my own clan before I do any external things with other communities. Um, fucking yeah. So I'm just happy that our community is actually thriving for once instead of cycling constantly of being up and then down, up and down, up and down. So far, we got a steady pace right now, and we should be staying at this for now, as we have new Atisha's Mandalore. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah, I agree with you right there that Nuatish's Mandalore is gonna be good for us. When we had that council, we had a couple bumps and bruises along the way, but we managed to get through it, and I think that we're gonna be pushing through the overall community and building our numbers up and really getting out there. Which leads me into my next topic. Um, what do you guys think the status of the Halo community is overall, and where we fit into it as the Mandalorian community? Because in the past, some Mandalorians have made it seem as the Mandalorians are jokes to the overall Halo community. So I kind of want to get your opinions on where we're gonna fit into the Halo clan community. Go ahead. You can go first on this issue, New Achish.
One thing I will say about that is, we're nowhere close to at least top five. Like, we're not anywhere near there. But we are gaining the skilled members needed for that and everything like that. And my view on the Halo 5 community as a whole, for the most part, it's pretty toxic. You know, you can't go anywhere without, being bombarded for anything. Like, you can be any part of clan and you'll immediately get bombarded by toxic people just thinking that they're better than you just because they're part of a bigger clan when they inherently have no, like, true skill. And, with the subtopic you brought up with the Mandalorians and how we're seen as a joke from the outside community, and you know what? I've been around the community for a while, and I can honestly say, yes, they do see us as a joke right now. It doesn't help that our past few communities had a lot of toxic people in our chats, and we're just being as cancerous as possible, and that really brought down our reputation a lot, and it didn't help that, a lot of people that were very toxic had no true skill to back it up. So it just brought us down more into the dirt. So we kind of became like a kind of a stomping ground. Like, no one really believed that we were a strong community. And now that I've personally made sure we've kicked out everyone toxic, and we have the admins in place making sure that the toxic people are gone from us. I see our reputation already growing. Like, as of now, like, when we go into certain socials, people actually, not fear, but, there's a certain level of respect there. And, I want that to grow. I want more respect between communities in general instead of just, cancer shit talking with no substance behind it.
Yeah, I totally get you there. I know what you mean by that. Do you have anything to say on this issue, Tab?
Yeah. To make a comment about what New Hatish was starting at. Once upon a time, the Mandalorians were actually feared, way back when. But our name got dragged into the ground by so many people joining us and ruining our name. The last few communities that have been up has not helped us at all. It's made us seem more like a joke. Right now, as it stands, there's a lot of people who still see Mandalorians as a joke, but there are few that see that we're growing and we're becoming a threat. And right now, as I've seen it, and from the sources I've heard it from, the community's in a downhill slump right now. And there are a few trying to fix it, but there's just too much cancer throughout the communities to try to headlong it to begin with. And where we fit into the community as Mandalorians, I would say in the few Sangheili socials we do join, they have a grudging respect for us, as they do respect some of our values that we do hold. But it just depends on what group you're going with. But we are coming back, and it's going to be a long road ahead.
I agree with that. If I can just add my 2 cents to what you're saying, I believe that a big part of how we're seen as a joke is due to when Allure was Mandalorian, he tried to declare war on every single Halo clan there was. And 3 weeks in, he was like, "Nah, I made a mistake. Sorry, guys." So I think that's a big reason why they see us as a joke, because Allure has dragged our name through the mud a lot. Do you have anything to add to this issue, Kotish?
So the question is, how does the community, like, how do we view ourselves as a community as a whole? You know, like, what do you think of other communities thinking of us technically, right?
Um, the question
And
is, what do you
the
think of the
reputation of
status?
us.
Yeah, what do you think of the status of the Halo Clan community overall, and where do we fit into it as Mandalorians?
So, as the other guys mentioned, you know, we got our name dragged through the dirt a lot. Um, been here since Gen 2, Gen 3, and been seeing a lot of dumb shit come to this community. Um, fucking a lot of these new bloods don't know what the fuck it means to be Mandalorians. They drag our name through the dirt and make us seem awful. And some of the old bloods as well drag us through the fucking dirt. I'm gonna sound like a fucking asshole. I'm gonna probably make some sense here, but Manda Solik drug our name through the fucking dirt. He may have been a founder or the more person that popularized our community, but he has done some fucked shit, and he has really fucked over this community multiple times. Um, he's got a Mandalore ship just because he was the founder of the community, and then when he was Mandalore, he would fuck things over. Um, there are fears that Manda might come back, and I am, for one, if Manda is to come back, I'm willing to fucking challenge him to a duel. But even then, most people count him as Darmando, so there's no real point to do it. Um, the in my idea of how the community is working right now is our community is fine. It's not top five. It's not the greatest community out there, but as these guys have said, there's like communities like the St. Healy's that have a respect for us because of our certain traditions that we have that match up with theirs. And at us, as for our own reputation, we just gotta rebuild that shit. As I said, we had bad blood in the new. We had bad people come in from the new blood and the old blood, and we just need to push forward and make a new change for ourselves, make a new name. So, yeah.
I get you. I get you. I totally agree that a new name for ourselves, making a new name forward, is gonna be a great step to reclaiming our fear and respect. Because I can remember a time where did I not put this on AI only? I can remember a time where I can just walk into a lobby with some of my Ravens, and I could hear in the game chat, or I could see everybody from that clan just run to the armory, just fucking just full on sprint, and be like, the Mandalorians
Yeah.
are here. But sadly, that's no longer a thing, and I want to see us get back to that age where people see us and they're like, oh shit, the Mandalorians are here. So that brings us to a third topic. What are some of your most memorable memories of being a Mandalorian? Why don't you start this off, Kotish?
Um, I have some good memories. Not really that many. I've had some more fucked up memories. One of them being back in Gen 2, Gen 3. I was, you know, in that leading age of ending in Gen 2, leading into Gen 3 on Reach. And at that time, I was a Verd within Solik. I was counted as one of Amanda's kids. My oldest brother is Mirsko, my youngest one, or my oldest brother was Ijat, my youngest one is Waldasla. Two names you don't really hear that much when you talk about Solik, so I'm sure any Soliks listening to this don't know who the fuck I'm talking about. Um, but I was counted as a Verd, and during that entire fucking time of me being a Verd, Solik was down. Solik was shut down for an entire fucking year. The community comes back. Solik comes back. I come to Manda. I'm still in my armor. I'm still in my Verd tags. I never fucking left them. Manda keeps me as a fucking Verd. Mirsko comes back as nothing. He has no tags. He was just random, basically. Bumped right up to a clansman. Fucking most of my memories of this community, for my own fucking sake, are just shit. After that, I got fucking adopted by Flit, Everything seemed to go well from there. I got adopted by Foot. I got brought into the Bevins. I got brought into the Ordos. I got a better name for myself. Instead of being the lowly son of Amanda Solik, I became one of the more favorable sons of Tavila Ordo. And here I still stand as currently what would be counted as one of the oldest surviving sons of Tavila Ordo that are still within the community. And I'm doing good. Fucking a lot of my fucking memories are not the greatest, but ever since I've been part of Ordo, or ever since I've been Foot's son, I've been actually doing better for myself, and I've gotten a better name. So that's all I got to say about that.
Better name's always good to hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was with this community since the foundation, and I remember the first founding Solix pretty well. Um, what are some of your most memorable moments from being a Mandalorian, Tab?
Well, the first one was something somebody made a comment of that I've probably been the only Ordo that has ever successfully been Mandalore. And that says a lot coming from a house that literally is a joke to everyone. So, as well, whenever I first started in this community, I was just known as this random upstart Ordo that just became Mandalore out of nowhere. And I've continued trying my best to make my name even more so. One of my more favorable memories of this community was during the Mandalorian Republic War back on Reach. Myself, two other members of Ordo, and a Scarada joined the Jedi Temple where the clones and the Jedi were training, and we proceeded to raid them. They they tried their hardest to try to keep us at spawn, but four Mandalorians kept their entire lobby at spawn. And after that happened, they asked us if we could no longer raid their temple as it was their training grounds.
Well, damn.
And the war slowly went downhill from there, and we ended up winning that. But
I'll be right back.
that was one of my more favorable memories of the community.
Well, that sounds you've had a pretty plentiful career as a Mandalorian. I'm glad to hear that raiding over a public server is your most memorable moment. I do agree that you as Mandalore, you were the only successful Ordo that was a Mandalore. Tal did a good job, but he wasn't as successful as you were. Alora's pretty shit as Mandalore, so I do agree with everybody that you were the most successful Ordo that has ever been Mandalore.
I take pride in that little bit.
I do. I mean, you should. How about you, New Hatish? What's your most memorable moment of your Mandalorian career?
Oh, I have a few. um, I'd say the Bloodline Bridges. Those were at least my favorite, times because I was brought in Haran as kind of the runt. I was looked down at for a while, and then I eventually proved to everyone that I was worth the Bloodline. And during Haran, the way to get into the Bloodline was you had to duel everyone in the Bloodline from youngest to oldest, and if you won, you're brought in because strongest have the right to rule.
Yeah.
And the Bloodline ended up getting too big, so eventually, keep in mind this is like Gen 3. Eventually, we started doing Bloodline purges, so everyone in the house was pit against each other until let's give it an example, like let's say 30 members we had that were in the Bloodline would drop to 15. So, until half the members that were there were dropped. So we would repeat that process every month to make sure that the strongest of Haran was there. I'd say that was my most memorable and favorite, just for the fact that that was always something that I held dear, since it was always a Haran tradition. Another moment I really like was when I finally got the community back together for a point. I was able to finally get a lot of the older gens back together, and I managed to get all the houses to rally behind me without any hiccups. For me, at least, that shows, that people actually have some great respect for me, and I respect the community as a whole too. And it's very honoring knowing that every clan was willing to follow me without a question. So I'd say those are my favorite memorable moments, at least.
That's good. My favorite moment that I can remember from the Mandalorian, since I've been here for quite a while, is a recent one, I would say. Um, it was when Raven and the other clans decided to overthrow Olor, and me and Tal were fighting over who was gonna. We were arguing over who was gonna challenge Olor and take him out. Tal wasn't really feeling it at the time, so I was like, "Okay, bitches, I'll do it." Because at this time, Allure wasn't on Halo as much. If he was on, he was on what you call it? He was on Netflix all the time. He wasn't doing anything with the community. He wasn't doing anything with his own clan, with any other clan. He had promised a bunch of war fights that never came to fruition. So I was just like, okay, I'll overthrow him. I'll take his Mandalore title, and I did. He got one. He got one kill off me in our 5 point duel. I was like, this is who the Mandalore is, really? And then I had taken his title. I had banished him from the community, and then I had formed Mando Adate. Um, I think my time as Mandalore is really my most favorite moments from this community. I led wars. I helped build up a community before it ultimately fell due to conspiracy and infighting a little bit. But the first months of Mando Adate are definitely my favorite moments of my career, personally. I like the fact that we have three Mandalores in this session right now. What did they
If
call
you'd
you?
like to make me, if I'd like to make another comment real quick,
Yeah,
if
go
you don't
ahead.
mind. One of my other favorite, more memorable moments is the last community that was up. I wasn't allowed to join, as I was seen as someone who's prone to start revolutions between communities.
Yeah, I wonder
So,
why. I wonder why, Tab.
sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah,
go
that's
ahead.
fine. It's fine. Um, for example, I was known as Mandalore the Reformer, just for reforming Mando Adate. Uh, New Atish here is known as Mandalore the Reaper. Uh, and you're what? You're known as what, Tab? Mandalore the Uniter? Or
It's I believe you were the one that gave me that name, but the the name that was given to me back on Reach by two previous Mandalores was Mandalore the Binder.
Mandalore the Binder.
Out of out of all the Mandalores that have ever taken the title, there has never been a Mandalore that could rally the number of people that I have. That's the one successful thing I
Okay.
can guarantee that I've done. Because at one point, and this is on five, this is 2-ish years ago, I rallied over 120 people to my cause
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they called
in the
you the
matter of a
Binder.
day and a half.
Yeah, I don't know why they called you the Binder for that. The Uniter is more definitely your role
Yeah,
of that.
but they gave me that title before I came to five. So
Yeah,
still though, I do think Unifier is a lot better considering what I've done now.
right.
Yeah, I just realized I should probably shed some light on the reason why I got my name.
Yes, you should.
Oh yeah,
Probably help people understand.
Yes, you should.
Um,
yeah.
the main reason why I got Mandalore the Reaper was when I finally came back to the community that was just started up with, the few councils and their little clans. I came in and immediately blood dueled 3 people off the bat that I felt were toxic into the community and that had no true place there. And then I killed them off and proceeded to say if anyone ever got in the way of the community, I wouldn't hesitate. I'm known as the best sword duelist in the community at the moment. Uh, like my sword prowess is up there in the community at least. No, everyone's to a point, respects me or fears me for that, and that's the main reason why I feel a lot of people that maybe had something that they wanted to say didn't stand up and prove their way, and will at least try to get me out of their way, so they can become Mandalore. Because I know there's a few that wanted to, but none of them hopped on it.
They didn't hop on it because you came out of the gate like, okay, I'm claiming Mandalore, and they all looked at your 27 kill count and they were like, yeah, nah, I'm not touching that.
Oh yeah, something that I'd like to add as well. Um, Whenever I first joined Ordo was at the beginning or right before Gen 3. I've been a part of the community since the very beginning of Gen 2, if not a little bit before that. Um, Whenever I joined Ordo, I was a Verd for about 3.5 months. And it was tasking because there was no way I could physically get promoted because the house was not doing a damn thing. Everything was just everywhere. Well, whenever I finally got up to Rally Master, I was the only person in the higher management of the house that anyone even knew existed. So I ended up getting full control over the entirety of the house except for the leadership above me. And I was adopted into the bloodline under fears that I would start a revolution in the house and overthrow the bloodline.
It's always revolutions with you, isn't
Well, yeah.
it?
But that was something from Alor Teordo, as most people know him now.
Of course.
And he loves to claim that I'm the weakest of the entire bloodline. And I won't deny that.
You are.
I'm not skilled. But where I lack in that, I have other things to help me out. So I'm one of the spookiest people in the community at this point. I take that title very seriously.
The spookiest
But-
person
With all
ever.
your spies and shit.
You gave yourself that
Comes
title,
the
you
skill and
fucking faggot.
otherwise, I'd have that completely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, skill wise that you got that, but nah, I got you beat with resources.
You just say, hey Tab, you ever hear of this name, fucking Ca'yc Runi?
Oh, reminds
And he
reminds me
just
of a meme
pulls
that just
like
started up.
he just pulls a Google Doc that's like 15 pages long. He's like, here you go.
Reminds me of a fucking meme that started up.
I was like, here you go.
Oh, you hear about this? Yeah, I already know.
Yeah, I already know. Alright, I think that's all
Yeah,
the time.
most people come to me now. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll let you
yeah.
finish
I,
that.
I'll
I'll let you finish that off.
I just wanted to put it out this. Most people come to me now with they say, "Oh yeah, did you hear about this?" Or "Look what I found out today." I was like, "Yeah, I've known for about a week and a half now. Thanks for the update."
um, does anybody have any last remarks, last statements before I go ahead and close out this session?
Oye Manda.
Fuck Amanda Solik.
Oh gosh.
There. That's my final remark. He's a faggot. I don't like him. You fucking
How about
abandoned
you,
me,
New Hatish?
and I got adopted by faggot over here.
All right, yeah, and apparently
What I
I've been
say
picking
about
up
the end of this.
strays.
I'll say, I'm glad that we had this talk show and we can at least, get out everything that we've been wanting to talk about in this community, because I know it's been planned for a while now. I'm finally glad that's executed.
Good.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and I can't wait for more to start up.
Exactly. War is great for our community. Well, I've been. This has been Ca'yc Runi. I've been Karam Raven. Have a good night.